right, so welcome. My name is Justin Margario. I've assembled a great panelist today to talk about our Tech Xcelerator program. So again, Justin Margario, I am the Early Careers Talent Acquisition Partner, or a fancy way of saying the recruiter, for our internship program, as well as our Tech Xcelerator program. We have a wonderful group with us today from Experian. We have Yusuf Siddiqui, who is our Talent Management Senior Director, who will spend some time here in a little bit talking about the wonderful program that we have in the tech space. And then we have 4 current tech accelerators in our software engineer space: Jayla, Anusha, Sarah, and Nikita, who will be on our panel at the end of the program today, that will be able to share their experience as well as answer your questions, so you can hear from real world individuals in our program currently. So we'll get started here. Would love to spend a little bit of time giving you a high level view of experience. So there's many facets to us as a company. We have innovation and data analytics at our core. We do business in 2 ways: business to business and then business to consumer. From the business to business standpoint, the first bucket there is credit services, where we have the richest data on consumers that we provide to lenders and creditors to help them make wise decisions on who they're allowed to lend to, or who they can lend to. A great example of that is our Ascend platform, which is the world's is the biggest in the industry, that allows our partners to have information on consumers so that they can make wise lending decisions. On the other facet of business to business is our decision analytics, where we provide automated software for business intelligence as well as fraud protection. And then marketing service is another part of our business to business side, where we have the richest and biggest non-credit data on consumers that we are able to help provide marketers and advertisers so that they can connect with the consumers that need it most. And then the business to consumer side is where we kind of spend most of our time. We are driven as a company to give access to consumers and help them achieve their financial goals through memberships like our Experian Go and Experian Boost platforms, as well as marketplaces in the areas of insurance, so that consumers can build and increase their credit and make wise decisions for themselves. So you can see there that we do about 4.1 billion on our business to business side and a little over 1 billion in our business to consumer part of our company. So we are all about the consumer and consumer empowerment as well. So we do this in a multitude of ways as you go around this circle, but I'll highlight a couple. Credit management, where we help facilitate real-time credit decisions for lenders and consumers. We link creditors and consumers to so they can get the loan for auto or for mortgages, so that they can get those big purchases that they need. We also do it through insurance. We facilitate insurance eligibility claims checks, as well as a marketplace to where you can go in and look at insurance holistically and make the best choice for you and your family or your individual. But really, kind of at our core, as I mentioned, we're all about financial access. So down there in the corner, financial access, we extend credit opportunities to individuals for free through our Experian Boost and Go. But we're all about empowering the consumer to make confident decisions about their finances and at the important parts of their life. So when you're making big purchases, we're on the back end helping make sure that you have all the information to make a wise decision for your credit and for your big purchases. So that's what we do in a nutshell. But want to spend a little bit of time also talking about Experian and how great of a place it is to work. So you can see here's a little snapshot on our statistics. We are a global company with 44 different countries, about close to a little over 1,000 or 20,000 employees globally, and about 44% of our employee population is female. So we're close to half there. Here at Experian, we are all about bringing your whole self to work. And we do that through our 8 business resource groups that really allow us as individuals to grow and develop and feel like we're part of something bigger and build a community here at Experian. And then we have been a great place to work for many years across many of our regions. That you can see across the bottom. Fortune has listed us as some of the great places to work in the fintech space in a global environment. So just a quick snapshot of some of our accolades and important things for our company. But from there, I'll hand it over to Yusuf to go over the Accelerator program and talk about the opportunities that we're presenting to you today. So Yusuf.
Hi, everybody. Great to see so many people on the call today. So I have been the program manager for the Xcelerator program for the past almost 4 years. We started off with recruiting people specifically out of Austin, Texas, because there's some great engineering schools there, but now we've expanded. We have people participating in the Xcelerator program all across North America. And it's really our initiative to organically grow talent, to grow tech leaders, to have them rotate through different areas, different business units of Experian, and then land in engineering and development roles, and go on to become tech leaders at Experian. So we do leverage technology for so much of what we do for our clients. And we do have people who work in the rotation get access to cutting edge technology and platforms. So that is really the basis for the Xcelerator. Why the Xcelerator? As people, and you'll hear a little bit from actual participants in the program in a little bit, but basically the pillars of the program are, of course, engaging rotations. So for a whole year, you'll be seeing 2 different teams, hopefully 2 different tech stacks, 2 different ways of working. You'll also get professional development, which is more official, formal training around presentation skills, how to build your network, how to build your brand. You'll have opportunities to get mentors around the tech ecosystem and Experian. You'll also have coaching from the program manager, someone like me, and along to understand how to navigate your career at Experian, how to get your next rotation, how to actually figure out which landing role that you like and which BU. And then there's also hands-on exposure, internal and external. In the past, people have in the program have attended internal hackathons that we have at Experian, but also attended external conferences. So very rich experience for 12 months, and then going into a landing role at Experian in one of the business units. We started off, as I mentioned, with the Engineering Accelerator, which is basically product developers. So they get to see full stack, different full stack environments. There's machine learning. You work with big data as well. You work on the cloud, to DevOps, DevSecOps work. The Analytics Accelerator is really about data design and advanced analytics. So that's another type of accelerator participant we look for. Then the User Experience Accelerator as well. That's user experience, branding, design, function. And then finally, the Product Management Accelerator, which is really more on the business strategy side. But there's also opportunities to learn product ownership, which is more on the execution side as well. So these are our 4 accelerators that we recruit for. And again, it's 12 months, you have 2 rotations, and then you get into your landing role. But the great thing about it is you see different environments, work with different teams, grow your network, add Experian, and then and it's a network which includes previous cohorts of the Accelerator program, the past 4 years, and it includes your mentors, and includes a program coach, and it includes your rotation managers. So very quickly within the course of the year, not only do you get institutional knowledge and Experian, but you develop a great network, which really helps in your landing role and beyond. So, of course, we're looking for people who are curious, who are ambitious, they want to grow. The main aspects of being successful at Experian, other than just tech chops and being interested and curious about technology in general and products, is really adaptability, You get thrown in different environments, and you change the environments within the course of a year. So 2 different environments. So you have to be very self-driven, but you also have to be a team player because you're going to be joining 2 different teams within the course of the rotation program. And then you're going to have to grow your network, which means how professionally and how collaboratively you work and grow your network is going to be key. The more people you know, the more environments that you see, the better idea, the more success you have in landing in a role that you really, really like. Before the interview process, I'd encourage you to understand what we do. I know it's complex. We do a lot of different things, but you have a general idea of what we do as an information services company. And understand what you bring to the table, not only in terms of technology and your technology background, the projects you worked on, the internships you had, or full-time roles you had before that, but also who you are as an individual and why you want to work in that particular, why you want to participate in that particular accelerator. And, experience externally facing financial inclusion is a big part of our ethos, what we're trying to do, and include as many people as possible within the financial framework. But also internally, we are committed to diversity, all sorts of diversity. And so we're looking for people with diverse backgrounds who bring a new a set of thinking to the table. So and bring your whole self to the interview process and help us get to know you a little better.
Awesome. Thank you, Yusuf. So our timeline here. So here's our timeline. So our positions are posted, and our outreach and our application review process is going through currently. In October, which is now, middle of the month, we will we'll send out a tech assessment deployed to top candidates based off of a resume review process that we go through. You'll do a coding assessment, and then from there, we select strong candidates to come partake in an interview day with us on either November 7th or November 14th, where you'll do a little meet and greet with Yusuf and myself, get to know a little bit about each other. Then we'll break you into a group of small groups to do a little case study. And then you'll present out to business leaders, and then you do a final more technical focused interview with some of our developers in-house. And then that rounds out the day. And then our goal is to extend offers shortly after those 2 interview days, with the goal of having all of our positions filled by the December holiday. So we would encourage you to go and look at our website and apply, so that we can start deploying our technical assessments middle of this month in a couple of days / a week in advance. Strong candidates will be getting those assessments. So with that, here's a little QR code that we would encourage you to go look at our openings on our website or on the Way Up platform. I will tell you that currently only our engineer accelerator role is posted. We're still working through how many we'll have for our other verticals, product management, UX UI, as well as our data analytics roles. So our engineer role is posted, but hopefully we'll have headcount soon for the other positions, and those will be posted on our website shortly. So with that, I would love to have our current accelerators, the 4 individuals, come on camera and introduce yourself, share a little bit about yourself, and we have some questions that we'll pose to you, but we'd really love for the audience to ask questions of our current accelerators. So Jayla, Anusha, Sarah, and Nikita, if you wouldn't mind coming on camera, we'll turn over to you. So if one of you ladies wouldn't mind starting by introducing yourself, we'll go from there.
Okay, I guess I can go first. So like Justin said, my name is Jayla Jones. I actually joined Experian June of last year. So I've been here a little over a year now. I have finished up 2 of my rotations, and I'm wrapping up my 3rd one right now.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Hansleben. I joined the same time that Jayla joined. We are, all of us are actually in cohort 3 together. I'm currently wrapping up my 2nd rotation, and I'm looking for my landing role now at Experian.
Hi, I'm Anusha, and I joined June last year, 2021, and I completed 2 rotations, and I'm now working with Experience Clarity Services as a front-end engineer. So I've already landed my permanent role. So yeah, that's about me.
Hi everyone, I'm Nikita Dimelu, and last year I graduated, completed my master's, and then I joined in August last year, and I have completed about 2 of my rotations. Currently, I'm in my 3rd rotation, and I'm looking for securing my permanent role soon. So.
Awesome. So I've got a few questions that I'll post to you guys, but would love for our panel or love our attendees to enter some questions in the chat. We have, again, 4 individuals that are in the program. Would love to answer your questions. So let's first start off by having each of you share when you reflect on your source process, right? When you were graduating, heading into your senior year, you were clearly searching for a full-time role. If you wouldn't mind sharing with them what made you want to join Experian in a rotational program specifically.
So I guess I had chose to pursue Experian because I had attended the Afrotech conference in 2020, and a recruiter had actually reached out to me regarding the program, and it actually piqued my interest because I'm kind of a person who likes to explore new things, and I had heard that the Xcelerator program seemed like a promising opportunity to kind of grow with the company, also getting hands-on experience with the ins and outs, and as well as learning new skills and kind of seeing where those skills and my existing skills would align. So that was pretty cool to me. So that's why I kind of was really interested in pursuing Experian and subsequently the Xcelerator role.
I was really excited about the rotational program because coming out of school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to work on tech stack wise or project wise. And I liked having the different opportunities to work with different teams and do different tech stacks. I've been able to do front end work as well as back end work, and now I'm kind of doing more full stack work. And I think that's kind of where I want to land. So it's really helped me decide what I like doing and where I want to keep pursuing my interests.
For me, I would say something like Sarah. When I was graduating, I wasn't sure exactly what part of engineering, software engineering, that I should be moving into. I graduated information sciences and management, so I had like a plethora of options, but I knew I wanted software engineering, but not precisely what part of software, back end or front end or full stack. I joined the program because of the flexibility that it offers, that I'm able to work with different teams and then really see where I excel the most and where I stand out with my work. And it's been a year, and I figured front end is where I enjoy the most, and I also given my best in front end, and now I'm a front end engineer. So the program really helped me out in ways that I would have not imagined otherwise if I were to stick to one role with any other company. So I'm thankful for that.
So yeah, I was just freshly graduated and I was looking for a job, obviously. And while looking for a job, I came across a lot of job descriptions, a lot of opportunities, but this one stood out the most because where else can you get this opportunity to work in different teams and meet so many new people? And so speaking of what I learned so far, I'd say in my first rotation, mostly backend stuff, some SQL, and in my second one, I did front end and got a little exposure to Amazon EKS. And currently in my current rotation, I'm getting an exposure to machine learning and SageMaker, CloudWatch. So a lot of different opportunities for you to search what you need or what you want to continue working on, I'd say. So it's an amazing opportunity. You know.
We do have a question in the chat that I'd love to pose to a few of you. So we'll let a couple of you respond. They said, "What?" Sydney asked, "What is the most challenging part of the interview process?" So you all made it through. So what was the most challenging part for the interview process for you guys?
I think if I could go, probably would be at the end talking to one of the more seasoned engineers, because at the end of my interview process, I had to talk to an engineer that I actually ended up working with in my first rotation. Being a person fresh out of school, I kind of had a little bit of imposter syndrome. So I was a little worried that talking to, someone more seasoned that had way more years of experience, that I just was worried that I'd be saying the wrong things or things that I may have not had too much experience with. But it actually went really well. And he commented that it seemed like that I knew a lot, but at the time I didn't feel like I learned a lot or that I knew enough. But I think that may have been the most challenging part. I'm also a person that finds it a little bit difficult to kind of talk in front of a crowd. So this is also something new too for me. So yeah.
For me, I can't say it was challenging. I think if you're out, you just need to be here with an open mind and a lot of be open to speaking a lot, interacting a lot, because if you're going to be quiet through the process, there's only so much you can gain. I was really happy with the process, especially my interview process, because everyone I spoke to, all the engineers I interviewed with, were really understanding and very sweet, very kind. And they helped me through the process. So my interview wasn't as challenging as I would have imagined, is only because I was ready to ask questions. So that's my experience.
I would say our interview process here is not meant to be tricky or to trump you, right? To trip you up. That's not what we're about here. We're about finding the potential, right? And finding the high caliber candidates that can navigate through it. So it's not meant to intimidate you. It's not meant to scare you away or make it impossible. It's there just to find the potential in the candidates that can navigate through the gray or the churning waters, because things that experience move quickly. That's how we're innovative. So we need that candidate that can be agile. So it's not to intimidate you. It's just making sure that you're the right fit for the company. There is a question here that I'll address that says the QR code is not working. So could we give the link? Yes, we'll drop that in the chat, but you can also go to our Way Up company page, which you all should have been able to find given that you signed up for the session. That's you'll see all of our postings there. We have another question about graduating in May, looking for an analytics job. I see the Xcelerator program. We'll have hopefully our other 3 verticals listed shortly whenever we firm up those number of roles that we'll have for each of those positions. What about a question around, let's now have each of you share, if you wouldn't mind, most rewarding experience that you've had during the Engineer Accelerator program. What have you learned? What's been your most exciting venture through this year-long rotation?
So for me, I guess it's kind of hard to pinpoint, but I guess in general, it would be getting to know new teams, their subculture, and also their tech stack. I think it's pretty cool to kind of, learn the ins and outs of a new team, kind of getting in touch about what they do day to day. And of course, with learning a new tech stack, you get to kind of put those skills under your belt, and that makes you more of a viable candidate, for when you are and, go to your permanent long-term role. So, you get to learn, I guess, the informal or the less concrete things about how to interact with team members, asking questions on the job, and also the tech stack opportunities about learning those concrete skills. So that's pretty rewarding to me.
I would have to agree with Jayla. I think you're gonna excel a lot technically being in the rotation program, just learning new tech stacks, as well as I think it's really rewarding to learn those new skills. But I would also say one thing I was kind of surprised about was just how much your non-technical skills are going to grow with the mentoring, with the coaching. You're really going to develop into like a well-rounded developer and like a team player for your teams. I'm naturally more of an introverted, and this has really helped me kind of come more out of my shell and be a better team member for my team, as well as just better myself with all the mentoring and the coaching that you will have access to being in this program.
For me, I think what was really rewarding is throughout my journey, whatever I needed in terms of like support technically or with like say I needed some additional courses to build my skills or anything of that sort, I would, there's always support, and Yusuf always approves all the requests that we have in the 1 year that you are going to be rotating in teams, and also to be able to see different code repositories and to be navigating through different tech stacks and different languages. You sort of learn how you sort of build this self-learning skill. You learn on your own to navigate through, and pretty much by the end of it, in my third, which is like my permanent role now, it was way easier. I realized how easy it was third time around when I was onboarding. I realized I was able to set myself up into the new team on my own without much help from seniors, or like in the beginning you end up asking a lot of questions, but over time you realize you've sort of picked up and you're able to do it on your own. And that's sort of, I don't think that is something you can gain if you haven't worked with multiple teams. So that's really rewarding of the program.
So for me, I'd say similar to Sarah, I didn't not only learn tech skills, but also my soft skills sort of improved a little bit. I'd say every single team is different. Their team culture is different. Their onboarding process is different. So you get to learn different ways of joining a new team, I'd say. And some teams have fun get-togethers at the end, so you get to know them more. And working in, like, when you work on a task in a team, you don't always have to take complete ownership of the task. You can ask for help for any of the team members. You can just watch for a few days. You can just watch how they work. So it's not like you're on your own. You have a lot of help here. And even I'd say I had a great support system called Yusuf. Anytime we had any issues, we could ask him for help. And also your cohort members will always be there to support you. So having this kind of support system also is really, really a great, amazing thing, I'd say.
So we have a question here that I can address. So it says, are all of our internships and full-time positions remote or in person? So we are about 75% of our employees here in the US are 100% remote at the moment. Few can go in hybridly if they're located towards an office, but none of our roles require, or very few of our roles require in-person experiences or in-person time. So our Xcelerator program and all of our internships are 100% remote. We're really looking for the best candidate, regardless of where they're located. So all of our positions, interns and our Xcelerator program, are remote. Something else that I think that I'm seeing through the chat that I maybe wasn't clear is this Xcelerator program is for new or recent graduates, so somebody with less than 2 years of experience. So we target new graduates that are either graduating in December of this year or May or June of 23. We start all of our accelerators on right around June, middle of June, as early as April in some cases, but it's for recent graduates. It is a full-time position. You're not an intern, you're not a temporary worker, you're a full-time employee from day one. So saw some questions in here about, do we offer sponsorship? We do offer sponsorship for some of our roles. Prior to extending offers, we do make sure that our legal team is on board and we can help with the visa sponsorship process downstream. Is the last thing we want to do is bring you in on board and not be able to help you with that visa if you need one of those to work in the United States. So yes, we do provide sponsorship, or will aid in that process. So Yusuf, maybe you could answer this one. This one said, I saw several openings related to machine learning, like data analytics. Among other opportunities, will there be any projects related to computer vision within the Xcelerator program? Could you maybe expand a little bit more about possible teams that we land in?
Yeah. So it's a question specific. I'm looking at the Q&A here. Computer vision. Are there any project? So can you elaborate on what you mean by computer vision? or maybe someone else here on the panel can help me understand what you mean by computer vision.
If I'm not wrong, it's machine learning.
Oh, yeah. So if it is, thank you, Anusha. If it is that, yes, there are opportunities. There's several areas within Experian that focus on machine learning, artificial intelligence. So depending on the business unit that you're aligned with, for your rotations, you may have the opportunity to work on machine learning and artificial intelligence as well, along with other areas of data science like data modeling. Any position Experian could combine data analytics and financial modeling. I don't know. There's data modeling, but and data analytics definitely, but I'm not sure about financial modeling. It depends on the nature of the project that you're working on, but most of the projects are around data analytics and not specifically financial modeling. So the question around full-time SDE roles.
So software development engineer roles, we have a multitude of on our website. So I would encourage you to just go to, so back up, all of our early careers programs, which include our rotational programs like this one, as well as our internships are on our Way Up platform, which you all found by logging in here today. If you go to experian.com/careers, you'll see all of our positions open globally. There's probably a number of software engineer roles out there, but those are not through our rotational program. So we have hundreds of roles open at any given time, so it's hard to know exactly what's out there at any given moment. So you can also go to our Experian career page to see all of our roles available.
It's a question around an associate's degree. Did we already get to that one, Justin?
No, we did not. Sorry, I was looking at the Q&A.
No worries.
So for our internship programs, we look for individuals that are working on their bachelor's degree program. For our entry-level roles within the Xcelerator program, we target typical bachelor's degrees, but we're open to a wide array of degrees. We know it's not just the degree that you bring, it's also the skills you bring behind it. So I wouldn't discourage you from applying. I would actually encourage you to, because it's not so much the degree, it's what you can bring to the table from an analytics and coding perspective. Yusuf, any different add to that as the manager of the program?
It's really about, like you said, the skills that you bring and your ability to communicate and collaborate. So I would emphasize that, it's not, tech skills are important. Understanding the tech skills or experience with the tech skills, even more important. And finally, being able to communicate and collaborate with others to create great products and be product centric is the most important.
The question here, can I apply to multiple roles? Absolutely. You can apply to any role that you are qualified and interested in. So don't just limit yourself to one side. This is a question about the internship program, which is outside of the Xcelerator, but yes, our internship positions are paid. Are there cloud related positions?
So yeah, go ahead, Justin.
Yes, short answer, yes.
Yes.
Would love to see if any of our current accelerators have done any cloud work in their rotation. Have any of you?
Yes, so I've been in my current rotation for about 2 weeks, and I've already, first week I went in onboarding, and in my second week I was already working on, as I said, CloudWatch, SageMaker and S3, already doing latency tests, and I saw how other engineers were working, and then I implemented that, and I was able to complete it. So you get a chance to work on AWS or cloud related stuff. Yeah. Not just AWS, we also have other cloud, just to get out there.
Right. Tom has a great question that I love. So he said, this is for each of you. He'd like you to answer. So that'd be great. What is the greatest challenge you've had in your role, and how did you overcome it?
So initially I had this challenge where I didn't know when I should ask a question when I was stuck. So in my first rotation, I used to think I'm stuck here, so I should be able to figure it out on my own. And I took a more time than I should have taken. I should have just asked them, because some people have already gone through that process and already have the answers posted in different documentations. So these kind of things you shouldn't think, wait, and contemplate on. Just go and ask these questions. This I learned in my first rotation. So in my second and third, I went ahead and asked all the questions that I thought were necessary or thought would help me proceed in any blockers that I had. So that is one challenge, I'd say.
Yeah, for me, the most challenging so far has been, I think, in my first rotation, I was working on React, and although I knew React, I was working on legacy code, and I was completely new to. I wouldn't understand when I was assigned work. I wouldn't understand like from where to begin or like what resources. Where can I look for? Um, you know, whatever you need to start off work. I think asking questions is what has helped me so far, and not being not feeling like I will be judged, because everyone here, from what I've seen, is they understand that you're in a program where you're learning by doing. So everyone's super helpful, and all the senior engineers in experience so far have been extremely understanding of that. So there's always going to be someone who's going to. Sometimes I've had super seniors sit with me and pair program to help me with my doubts, and that's I think asking questions is gonna take you a far. Yeah. And I'm actually currently also learning unit tests. Like writing unit tests or something that was completely new to me, but I you just need to ask questions, and there someone always help you. And that's been challenging for me, just picking up different languages and starting. There's always a starting trouble, and once you're in the flow of work, it's not going to be that hard, but starting is going to be hard.
Yeah, I think I echo the same sentiment as Anusha and Nikita. So yeah, when I had started my first rotation, that was the first time I ever had experience with PHP. So my normal route of when I would usually try to learn something or a language that I did not know, I would always refer to documentation. So, but in addition to that, I also had to be wary of the teams, like I had mentioned before, the subculture. So they had kind of their own coding standards that they wanted me to adhere to. So I had to make sure to ask questions regarding what they would like, when you submit tickets, what they would like the format to be in, and also being aware that it's a team that when you, essentially adjust the code or whatever files that you're using, that you're not breaking someone else's work. And I learned that also when I was, submitting my ticket, and the QA person would say, hey, you got something right, but you also broke something that someone else had worked on months ago. So go back and make sure that you're not like destroying something else. So I think that was a pretty interesting challenge. And I also had to make sure to, reach out and ask. The senior engineers, they're not out to get you. They want to be able to help you. So there's nothing wrong with asking them and saying, hey, like, this is what I thought was going on, but I'm ended up breaking something else. So could you help me with the, the coding standards and making sure that I'm not ruining someone else's work, because they'll get mad. But everything's fine.
Yeah, I agree with what everyone said. I would say definitely challenging part is when you're in new roles and you're learning the new tech stacks. Even like my first rotation, I had familiarity with front-end work. I had done front-end work in school, but I was in a new library. I was in the Vue library, and instead of typical JavaScript, we were using TypeScript. So there was like a good 2-week period where I'm just learning the libraries. I'm learning, going through documentation. I'm asking questions for my team and stuff, trying to learn the proper way of how to use it, how to implement it before you kind of start getting into work. And you're gonna slowly like get tickets, smaller components maybe to build out, or maybe a bug ticket to fix, and you're slowly gonna work up into bigger tickets that may take the full sprint to work on, or you might be picking up 2 or 3 tickets to complete in a sprint. It kind of depends what your team's working on, but it's definitely challenging in the beginning to pick up speed and catch up with everyone. But they're there to support you and help you, and they want you to ask questions when you're confused, because if you're not asking questions and you're delaying the process, then that's going to be a kind of an issue within itself.
we've exhausted all of the questions in the chat. So Yusuf, do you have any final thoughts before I kind of close out with one question for each? Anything you want to add?
Just want to say that, we've been running the accelerators for about 4 years, going into our 5th now, recruiting for our 5th cohort. And it's been a very rewarding experience to see great tech developers, product developers come through, get an idea of what experience like. And it's a once in a career, I would say, for most people, opportunity to rotate through different teams and get a real feel for different teams and tech stacks before you actually transition into your landing role. So it's a very valuable, exciting program with lots of great experiences. So that's been my that's what I've taken away from the program, and would encourage everyone to apply. We value the diversity of your backgrounds, your experiences, and it's a great opportunity. So, like, as many people as possible to apply and see if you can be a part of this great experience.
I would echo that as well. But I'd love to hear from each of you one last time as we close it out with giving them a little piece of advice as far as how to be successful here, right? So let's say they interview and they land a role, give them one piece of advice to be successful here at Xperian in our Accelerator program.
I mean, I know everyone had mentioned it before, but I think the golden rule is to just ask questions. Make sure that, you ask questions that are kind of probing and would allow, if there was any unclarities or something that wasn't clear, to, try to probe further. I think that's kind of how, my first rotation was so successful, because when you're first starting, there's things you don't know. And it's kind of hard to, ask if you don't know what to ask. So just take time to, if you have a problem, try to, I want to say, divide and conquer the big problem, and think about, like, okay, well, step by step, what is this? And then try to bring it to someone that, is more experienced and that can help you, because asking questions goes a long way, and it probably is the most successful thing that can,
I would definitely recommend reaching out to like as many people as you can and expand your network here at Xperian. Everyone is so friendly and stuff, reaching out with different questions, just asking different managers and stuff what they're working on and how, if you're interested in like joining their team, just trying to learn more about what they do. Also, like with the mentors, I think it's really important to connect with the mentor, as well as not only having one mentor, but you can have multiple mentors and just kind of continue to grow in that sense.
And I would also say just keep learning. There's going to be downtime sometimes. The best thing to do is do some personal projects and keep learning with work, because and if there's something that you are aiming for, some technology that you have already picked and that's what you want to be working, I would say use your time. Sometimes there's going to be a lot of situations where you do not have that much of active work sometimes in the team, so you can definitely learn, and there's lots of resources that gets approved by Yusuf when you are in the program. There's like Pluralsight, and there's a lot of accesses that you're going to get for learning. So just make use of that time and keep learning. Never like, and there's also like, even when you are going to be landing your permanent roles, you're going to have to speak to managers and interview with them, and all of that extra time you spent on learning is going to help you in those interviews to land your permanent role.
So I'm not sure about the first rotation, but your second rotation, you will be able to go and network in the Xperian by yourself and look for what kind of team you want to work with or what kind of project the team has. So this way, if you're aiming for one kind of technology that you think you will excel in the future or want to major in, so I think the second rotation is where you can aim for that. And also, you won't be working on one single technology. You'll be working with lots of different technologies. And when I say picking up a technology, I don't mean you have to know A to Z about it. You just have to know basic implementations of it and how to get things working, and you'll be good to go. So do not stress about that at all. So good luck.
Awesome. Very well said. So with that, I want to thank my panel here for sharing their wisdom and their experience with the Xcelerator program, and for Yusuf for giving us such a great overview. So thank you for joining us today, and please, we look forward to your application. We'd love to consider you for our rotational program. So with that, have a great day, everybody.